Hey, there's some major sales going on right now at our old musician's friend via GC and some other places. What does that actually mean? Hey, it's me, Baxter.
And me, Jonathan.
So we're coming at you hard and fast with some sales news and maybe a deep dive analysis of what's going on in the industry.
Buy quick, buy cheap.
I mean, I got the giggles this morning too. It's a natural fact. There's a giant box waiting for me to open up over there. It says Gibson on it. I'm curious to see what's in it. No, so there's obvious reasons when sales are happening. First off, there's A, they didn't sell well.
Yeah.
B, the reseller bought too many of them. They have to clear the decks. But let's take a deeper look into it. What's it actually mean when like these major manufacturers and these major resellers are having to do pretty deep cuts on some pieces? It's a little different, right?
Sure.
Sure?
It's because they love you. They want the best for you. They're just good people. I don't know.
Are you jaded?
No.
Is this your response to the State of the Union here? Oh.
I can't even think about that.
I know. Let's move on.
Best to keep going.
He's so mad. I did watch the Academy Awards last night, and I really enjoyed it. I did watch it in fast forward. I recorded it, which is the best way to watch it because you can get past all the categories that don't matter. Sorry, no offense to some of you out there.
I just think it's well.
But Godzilla won something, Derek.
Really?
So that was cool. They won for like best visual effects or something, which was awesome.
All right,
Godzilla
that's
-1.
fair.
Anyway, here we go. We got to take a deeper look at the recent store closure announcement from Sam Ash. That's a big catalyst to what sort of the industry is sort of vibrating to right now. So with that happening, we had what, 14 to 18 store announcements already, which is huge, and they're flagship ones in New York as well. These other big boxes are in a restructuring state at the moment as well. So and there's going to be there's still store openings, which makes no sense sometimes, but there's also store restructurings, and they're trying to figure out, because Sweetwater is dominated in that sphere, and it's the industry as a whole. These dinosaurs of big box retailers that we all grew up with and loved cannot survive in this current state of the internet. It's changed.
Yeah.
So now they have to find ways to pivot it. And one, Sam Ash is sort of pivoting just down, scaling hard and fast. We'll see what GC Musician's Friend do, but then you have to look at it from also the manufacturer side. Like, what are they doing? So their first response obviously was go direct immediately. Like, they knew it. They saw the writing on the wall. They're
Maybe not the best response though.
They panicked. We'll get into what I think the response might be, but they might not like that either.
Right.
Because I have some draconian ideas, and I don't know, like budget-minded, opposite of what the government spending might be. But that's just maybe different. But no, it's that go direct was their first initial response, and we're gonna crush at that. They haven't crushed at it. They're not doing so well. Fender's been doing it for years now, since like 2016, I think. 15 is when they announced it, I believe. Or maybe it was 14, 15, somewhere around there. Right in that ballpark. And so, but I think, so their structure's worked up to about 5% of their overall sales is direct to consumer right now. I think Taylor started it. They've not been going really well out of the gate. They're getting lots of returns and not doing as strong as they were hoping. This is from some insider information. Martin's not as strong at this either. Gibson's not very strong at it. It's the nature of the beast. It's harder to sell guitars to people when you realize they don't always want to keep it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I go on Gibson and just look at what's for sale, right? And it is odd to me that you can just be like, oh, click it now, because there's just my mindset. I don't know, kind of want to go to a store, talk to someone, or go play it. But even barring that, even if I was gonna call and order it from like Wildwood or somewhere, it just seems like there's a person's hands that's been on it in a good way. I don't know, weird. I know that's not what the video is about, but
no, it's tricky, but it's I agree. No, because that's the problem too with like direct sales. It's not always, look at Sweetwater, one of the best in the business. They take every guitar, unbox it, inspect it, go through their whole like 8,655 inspection point process. We don't have that many, but we do the same thing. And a lot of guitars don't pass inspection. And so when they're going straight to you, it's a problem, and then it creates a bad brand image for the consumer, yada yada. And they're starting to learn that right now. But that's a side point, like you said.
Yeah.
So what can they do? And I would say the dragon has to come forth, and you have to maybe do exactly what some of these other big businesses are doing. You have to do what you do really well, but pare it down. Maybe this widespread of, an infrastructure isn't as necessary. They're trying to keep growing everything, and you might like sort of figure out the market you fit in.
And just push into that, right? So maybe some tightening up, some getting lean.
Well, I mean, yeah, and it's hard. That's why it's so hard for these. Go back to the big boxes. It's really hard for them to pivot.
Right.
That's like steering like a freaking freighter in the ocean. They can't turn really quickly, and when stuff goes wrong and the market changes, it really hurts. Manufacturers, the big ones, have this similar. They've started their production SKUs and their queues. They've got this huge like structure of vice presidents and like senior VPs and like associate somethings or whatever, legal teams and blah blah blah, and like
at real HR departments.
Yeah, we don't have that. We just have like a dog that sits on the couch and says, "Dumb, like I'll poop on the floor." But no, it's harder for them, so they can't pivot as quick. But they have to like, maybe shed some of that fat,
right?
And like really, maybe we don't need to be making 1,000 guitars a day, and that's not like a benchmark of like greatness. Maybe a benchmark of greatness is like we make the guitars that are going to sell, and the guitars that we're extremely proud of, and that are not going to be coming back for QC issues.
Right.
Because every manufacturer, barring PRS, has gone direct, for the most part. And then a lot of them aren't having huge successes. We see that from the infrastructures and the internals.
Right.
I mean, so that's part of the deal.
Do you think they'll kind of step back from that, or do you think they'll just keep refining that?
I think they'll keep refining it for a while, because I understand, like, I would be in the same place. If I was running one of those, I'd be like, what do we do here? Our major resellers are going away. And let's talk about like the resellers. So there's certain categories. The independents, which we're part of, Wildwood Guitars, Sims Music, Chuck Levins, Music Villa, all these shops are like part of the independent chain. And that's about 40% of the market.
All those shops
together.
All
so
those
we're all
independents.
like 40, a little bit higher maybe. It goes up and down like 44, 39. It just depends on like the year. Now you look at Guitar Center, that's about 25% of like some of these major manufacturers like sell through.
Sure.
Sam Asher's probably, a good 10% still.
Still a pretty big chunk when it's just them,
You got Sweetwater, and you got Thomann, and Sweetwater is the behemoth that just keeps on swimming, and Tomann's crushing too. But but they also, so they're losing some of their majors, like and they're a little panicked there, and they're having to. That's why you see these sales sometimes too, on products that I would not think would be being put on sale. And then you look at the independent chain too, and they're worried there.
Right.
Because there's what's called the graying of the market, which means these great independent shops, the owners are getting older. They don't necessarily have a pass-through plan for a future ownership, or they don't want to, and they're stepping back, and that's a huge.
Yeah.
And then also, this is another thing. I've talked to a lot of these other resellers around the things, like some of the decisions some of the manufacturers have made has affected how they work with some of the manufacturers too.
Sure.
As far as like, well, we're not going to carry this brand as heavily because of X, Y, and Z. Or it might be as simple as like, I don't like the product as much. I hate saying product. That's what they talk about when you talk to these guys. That's where we're sort of nuts. We're guitar aficionados and lovers. And and I'm looking at Gibson box staring at me now. I'm like, I gotta open that soon. So that's sort of like the secret sauce behind why some of these sales go. It starts simple. It's like, well, we bought too many of these didn't sell well, but wait, why are we having to clear the decks entirely?
Right.
There's a new product SKU coming. That's not it. We're having to get stuff out because there's a debt structure behind all of this too, that these resellers work on debt as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like paying off your credit card bills. The banks come knocking eventually, and they do it. So it's just a fun sort of glimpse, and I'm saying, hey, if it's one of those guitars you want, get it. Take advantage of this thing right now. We would too.
Not?
I've done it,
Right.
It's like that's the fun of it. Like, we were just at a guitar show over the weekend. Like, it was just so much fun seeing new gear.
Yeah.
On all of our days off, we decided to go to a guitar show, drive 4 hours one way, hang out for 3 hours, drive 4 hours back, stopping in a gorgeous Wendy's right outside of Biltmore. These restaurants are so nice looking, you couldn't tell they were fast food restaurants.
Oh yeah.
They're like hidden.
Yeah.
There was I think it was like an Arby's or something that was hidden in a
It's like the fancy places where they make them not look like what they are.
Yes,
You know,
it
and
was
the
exactly
colors
that.
are like muted. You know,
Really
the Taco Bell is black and white. You know,
But it was really cool because the girl at the Wendy's was really nice. She's like, "You guys been day drinking?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's cute," because we were all happy just to be getting some soda.
drunk on the guitars.
We were drunk on guitar sauce. We were going home. So that's the whole
nitro.
But that's the fun of it. Obviously, we're here for a little bit of insider baseball and insider information. It's the fun of this thing, and we love it. And shout out to all of our guys. Stay tuned. Watch our videos too. We have some great stuff from the guitar show. Check that out on the channel. It was so much fun seeing our guys from Flash Flood of Gear. This new amp company, Marla, is amazing. And then some guitars that Derek should have bought, but he didn't.
Next time.
Whatever. We'll see if we can get it. But thanks for watching. Jonathan, you got anything else?
I think that's it.
Sorry, I was steamrolling a bit there.
That's fair.
I was high on the info on this one.
I was taking it all in.
It's pretty scary, isn't it?
It's very scary.
It's all this. We'll see where it all lands too.
Yeah.
I'm even though we're in it, I'm fascinated to see where this all ends up.
Yeah.
Because one day we'll all be working at your pig farm,
Probably.
chicken farm.
You know, I got pigs too.
Thanks for joining us. Click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Peace be with you, and to all good night.